Hi, this is One. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I have a special guest with me. He is one of my first students. He's actually my first student that I am giving private lessons to one-on-one over Zoom meetings, and he allowed me to record the sessions, and this is one of them where we are creating an EDM track. It's with the MPC ONE Plus using the 3.0 version. I'm just making a simple EDM track going through the basics of drums, bass line, some effects, and chords, melody, stuff like that. So without further ado, here's the session. Hope you enjoy. I just recorded that vocal, actually.
No way, you did that?
If I show you what I did quickly, the effects I have, okay, I'll take off everything. Okay, so this is the vocals. I couldn't come up with good vocals, so...
Ladies in the house, stick that ass out.
You hear the difference? Like,
what effects did you put on it?
so I put this doubler.
Yeah.
This is what it sounds dry.
Big booty ladies in the house, stick
It's just with this microphone.
Big booty ladies in the house, stick that ass out.
I put this voice doubler. It gives it like this stereo effect.
Yep.
I had to actually pan it because originally it was too much on one side. That's the stereo thing. From the Roland, I think it was a mistake. Sorry. Then what I did was I put half speed. It doesn't sound like me anymore.
Yeah.
I put a delay and a compressor. And then originally I had a different beat, and anyways, for lack of a better showing example, I changed some of the stuff, and I got... And this sounds more EDM to me than anything.
Yeah.
I think... So, like, I was listening to EDM today when I was working.
Were you enjoying it?
Yeah, actually I was.
Dude, I like it a lot, bro. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, man, I want to do more EDM. I feel like it's more universal.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? And it just has a way of like not feeling as loopish.
Yes.
As you know what I mean? As everything else.
I feel like EDM is basically house and techno music combined with pop.
Right. With pop, yes.
With pop.
Correct.
It's like the pop version of house and techno. Where
Right.
house and techno can be more underground.
Right.
Like seen as underground, I guess. I feel like EDM music is like a combination of all these elements. Because when I was listening, the elements are always going to be 4 to the floor, like a kick drum.
Okay.
On every fourth beat, basically, bar. And then a clap usually. I don't hear too much snares, but you can get away with that. And then usually very high energy sounding, whether it's piano, uplifting, synths, big chords.
So it's definitely in the major scale a lot, right?
Mostly, I can hear major scale, but what they do, and depending on the type of artist, David Guetta, he uses a lot of piano style stuff, like you mentioned, and guitar as well.
Yeah.
Which is hard to kind of like come up with unless you know how to make guitar, like emulations from VST plugins or play it yourself. But luckily we have this thing that has piano on it, so that's good.
Right. Okay.
I feel like, basically those elements combined with a very groovy or punchy bass line, and either vocals that are very like kind of just like repetitive actually, and fun, but there's also more like for example dead mouse His older stuff was like I remember, and like more vocal, like singy songy kind of, but still very like big and EDM, I guess. Basically, the EDM to me is like big sounds, whereas techno and house can be more minimalistic, ambient, and they do have big sounds, but more diluted, more like filtered.
But I think one of the other things about EDM that's tough is like sounding unique, right?
Yes.
Which is hard, right?
Yes.
Like that's my problem with EDM is like you can't really it's not a lot of different DJs, because like when you get into it, it's like you said, you either replicate like David Guetta or whoever this person, like it's really hard to kind of come up with your own EDM sound. And like what I think about a lot, like fantasy in my head would be to like make an EDM song with that woman that you did that what was the crew you did
yeah.
Right, like have her be the singer on an EDM track.
Yeah. That song is called Signs, I think. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, kind of like R&B style vocals, if I remember correctly. But,
yeah.
That would be awesome, and I can see my best word of advice I can give is the more tracks you make, the more you'll find your sound, your style and your sound. But while you're creating, you also notice yourself. You're like, okay, I'm getting a groove right here. Once you're in that like momentum of making and coming up with something, it's good to either finish, or if you're not really feeling it, move on. But the sound selection, again, is like the most key. The drums, I would say, are probably the simplest format of this type of electronic music genre, because more likely than not, what they're doing is just a 4 to the floor beat and kick drum, snare, or clap, hi-hats, open hi-hats. And whereas with techno and more underground sounding electronic music, they're heavily percussive and not as heavily melodic elements or sounds that have so much distinctive flair to them that you recognize it right away. So that's like the trick, actually. So for example, this track, I think, like the bass line is very simple, but it's like it's memorable-ish. And then
and you just got a 4 to the floor, yeah? Okay.
4 to the floor. This is all you need for the bass of literally the bass, but like actually the fundamental house track that builds the EDM pattern. And then on top, whether you want some more percussive elements, and the vocals are your choice. You don't really need them.
Right.
You don't even really need that much percussion. But now the next step is like coming up with something that sounds so unique or good. That's like the trick. And I think that instead of a chord for this track, I'm going to try something more different. So let's say I would probably go with something more like a pluck.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah, I got a pluck right here. I was messing around. Here's my listen to this.
Nice.
So just a simple like.
Do you have drums and stuff? Can I hear the?
I don't have any drums. I just did that part.
You just did that part?
Yeah, I just did that. So, and I like that. That sounds like kind of EDM-ish to me.
Yes.
You know, and for that one, I just used chromatic notes, C scale, natural minor.
Okay, nice.
And then I just played out 4 notes, and then I just played out 4 notes and kind of like a pattern, a quick pattern. Yeah.
No, that sounds good.
Yeah.
And then like if I would add to that and then build a track from there for sure. That
Right,
sounds really
right.
cool. I like it.
Yeah. So for this one right here, you're gonna do pluckies.
I feel like it would make more sense to do something like let's say a hard pluck. Okay. EDM piz. Okay. Oh, because it's muted. Let's unmute those. Well, I feel like chords would work too, but and then
Try the chromatic chords. Those are cool. Try the chromatic chords.
chromatic, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then chromatic, or I had it on a progression actually.
Oh, that sounds good right there. Yeah.
Because it's on dance.
Gotcha.
Okay, let's try this. But I don't know if it will make sense with the vocals or not, but it's okay.
Yeah.
But the actual like that sounds very EDM to me.
Right.
And then what they usually do is they play with the cutoff a lot.
With the cutoff. The cutoff.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
for example, okay, if I were to make a drop, let's say,
Yeah.
I'll just
Why did you air quote drop?
because it's because it's like I've never really worked on like a drop, and like
Right.
drops to me were always like different, I guess.
Right.
So now I have to actually like work on a drop, but it's fun. Like I haven't really tried one for a while. And they use a lot of effects in EDM.
Yeah.
They'll have like big breakdowns and then build-ups and then
Right.
drops.
And here's the other thing I'll say. It's probably easier to do it in the DAW, but I think because the MPC has the arranger, like we figured out last time, it's easier. And that's why I need to update to 3.0, because the arranger, that's what makes the DAW so powerful. Like 100%. You can just go in, you know what I mean? And just kind of slide it in different spots.
Have you learned how to kind of use it?
I haven't downloaded it.
You haven't used it. Okay.
Maybe you could show me how to install it today if we got time.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I have time.
Yeah. But the arranger is really, you really like the arranger?
I personally think it's nice. The reason is, like, for example, these vocals, I was able to just record directly onto them, onto here.
Gotcha.
And then like it just loops basically, or I can cut it up and if I make a mistake, I can cut it up and just like loop it where I want. So this is actually just a loop technically. It's like I messed up on the beginning. I cut that part in the middle, took that, dragged it over, duplicated it, and done. Or just
nice work. Nice. So a question for you: How many bars is this the loop that we're working on now?
So originally I had it at I think 4 bars. And then that's it. But I mean, again, like I think 4 bars is okay because it's just enough to come up with something that's catchy enough. But if you want a little bit of more variation, 8 bars. And you could just like loop the first 6 bars, and then the last 2 bars could be more different, I guess.
Something dynamic.
Yeah.
So before you go into the drop, because like I said, I struggle with drums a little bit. Can we let's go over to your drums. So like So you did 4 on the floor.
What I'm gonna do is mute everything else
Yeah.
and just get my drums in.
So did you do the same thing like you did last time? Like you blew it out? You did it all on one track and then you blew it out?
Yes.
Okay.
If you want, I can start from scratch. I'll save this.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's start from
Let's do
scratch.
that, okay.
Just for the drum part.
Right.
Yeah, one of the things that I've been doing a lot, dude, is like coming up with a melody and then sampling it and then pitching it down and then kind of messing around. I really like. I feel like you have a little more like freedom in how you fit the melody into the number of bars.
100%. That's awesome, actually. And I think that when you do that, you have the ability to not only, you can manipulate that and you can insert it back in and use it almost as an effect as well. Like,
oh, cool.
It might take a little bit of time, but you're also saving on CPU by resampling stuff that you've made.
Right. Because then you could just go ahead and not have to load in another plugin, right? Because gotcha.
Because the plugin itself, you're kind of you're moving it out of the way. You're just basically resampling what you made with that plugin, and then you can delete the plugin, put that into an audio track, put effects on it if you want, resample it again. Like basically, it's endless at that point. But but this thing is so powerful that sometimes I'm just like, do I really need to resample? But it is good to also do that because if you can like reverse stuff, and I'll pick this.
Shots.
Exactly. That's actually, that's like, okay, instead of a 4-bar loop, what I'm going to do is quickly change this to a 8-bar. So there we go, that's 8 bars. Okay, so this is actually a little bit more complicated of a drum pattern. It's not just 4 to the floor, but so I'm actually just going a little bit ahead of myself here, but I was listening to this song by Swedish House Mafia called "You Got to Show Me." I forget what it's called, but it's "Show Me Love," I think, and it's a really good track because the drum pattern that they use is kind of exactly similar to this one. So I'm kind of just inspired by them taking their idea.
Gotcha.
So that's that.
And I'm sorry, I'm looking at you, but my camera's up there.
Oh, it's
my camera's
good.
up. Yeah, so
I gotta look at like this way to look at.
Yeah.
It's all good. Like that's a nice clap. They didn't even use a clap in that song, I remember actually, but yeah, let's do something like that. adding like 2 types of hats.
Okay.
So that's basically like how I would do drums. I would either do
Right.
that or just every like 4 to the, like just straight up boom 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 instead of like bump 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 like.
Yeah.
And then I would keep going further and add some percussive stuff just for example. I don't
And
even know if that-
you would typically start with the drums, huh?
I would typically start with the drums.
Do you always start with the drums?
I generally start with the drums.
Really?
Or if I'm like going to look for a very specific sound, then I would take my time and look for a sound. But
Okay.
for me, the drums kind of just speeds up the process a little bit.
It does. Yeah, it does. It does. I just find it hard fitting a melody into drums. I feel like it's easier
The other
to
way,
fit
yeah.
drums into the melody.
That makes sense. But I guess the reason I start with the drums is because it forces me to think of what the track will sound like without the melody first.
Right. Okay.
So I learned a long time ago from someone that was kind of making music too, but not at a certain level. He didn't go that far with it, basically, but he would always tell me that if every single sound that you use can be listened on its own for the most part, or with other elements involved,
Right.
alone for quite a long time without you getting bored of it, it's like it helps because especially with like EDM and house techno, they make the songs usually to 6 minutes or 7 minutes, 8 minutes. So like basically choosing the sounds and making a loop, having it just drums for like the first 2 minutes almost, and then bringing in those melodic elements, it forces the listener and you to focus in on how to make the best loop, essentially, with just those elements, if that makes any sense.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And if I was gonna go with melody first, I would at least put a kick drum in, like just like
Wow.
at least one kick drum to be like, so I don't have to listen to a metronome.
Okay.
Or I could listen to the metronome, but the kick will determine my feel of the beat. Like, but if I was gonna go with melody and not any drums, then I would have to really hone in on what type of sounds I'm going to use.
Okay. And so it's interesting that you bring up the metronome, because I haven't really, I don't know how to say this, but I haven't really like used it. Like it's on when I create my music, but like and I think that's why I'm struggling with the drums, because I'm not like doing things based on the timing of a metronome. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's something that I need to practice, is like understanding the timing of a track. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Another reason I start with the drums is because it's just I can get the vibe going the rhythm going, the rhythm's
Right.
vibe going faster.
Right.
So the energy
And that's
of
the drum is the rhythm, and the other sound is the melody, right?
yes.
Okay.
What I usually do actually, I start with the drums, I make a melody after, and then I make a bass line.
Okay. Okay.
Because
okay.
if I make a bass line right away, it might not make sense with the melody,
Right.
or I would have to fit it in, like force the melody on top
Right.
of the bass line. Whereas if I make a melody first, then I can come up with a bass line that makes sense, gives it like a meaning, basically.
Right. 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 Okay. Okay.
And I think
All right. So using that, right? So we got the drums. So now you're going to do the melody, right?
pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I might take this sound out though. I don't know if I liked it.
So my buddy, let's disclose, my buddy got one of these, right?
Yeah.
And I went over his place the other day and told him workflow, like taught him, because that's basic. Yeah, it's basically what it is. Like he got it and he was like, I don't even know what to do. Like first thing you got to do is you got to learn the workflow. Like you got to learn like how to load up a sound, how to like, you know what I mean? Like the process I taught him was melody, then drum. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's
And
fair.
then, like, yeah. But it's cool because like he stayed up all night with it and like he made his first beat. It was pretty terrible, but like you just got to put your time in, you know.
Of course.
You got to put your time in.
Yeah, it's like putting your reps in.
Right.
Actually, like I thought about this a lot, and I always forget. But making music is basically the same as a sport. The more you practice, the better you get. It's just
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're using dumbbells or kick drums.
Right.
You got to put in your reps. You got to choose those sounds.
Right.
you know,
Right.
like, and then create. For a long time, I was making beats at 120 BPM. That's it for like almost 3 years or more.
That's so fast.
120 BPM only.
Even on your rap. Oh, was this before?
No, for just
Okay.
like deep house. And I got so used to that tempo that I was like, it's also very important to stay consistent in a certain type of genre.
You said that in one of your tips. You were like, because if you're in a club and the BPM switches, like people get confused.
Yes. Exactly. Well, unless they're open to like random types of songs coming in and out, but like more likely than not, if you're playing at a festival, EDM, nightclub, bar, like those types of places, most likely they're gonna keep the BPMs very similar, like
Gotcha.
126 to like 130.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
I'll put a plugin in, and I'm just gonna go with the hype. It's gonna be, let's do. I'm kind of feeling some kind of plucks, so let's see what kind of. Okay, C major, that's fine.
Tell me about your pattern there. Like how do you know that pattern to pick all the time? Tell me about that pattern. You see how you pick that, like where you're
Yeah.
fingers, like tell me about the pattern you think about when you do that.
It's like I think when I was playing on a keyboard, for example, I would always have to try to imagine what it would sound like going higher and then lower, for example.
Okay.
So
Okay.
same thing with here. The only difference is, and I'm kind of playing it in an arpeggiative kind.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I play the beat, but this is not too EDM enough.
Try if you want, if you saying the sound isn't EDM or what you were playing was EDM.
I feel like what I was playing isn't EDM,
Gotcha.
or maybe even the sound, but I guess there's this song by Martin Garrix
Okay.
called Animals.
Animals.
If you want to pull it up, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
I'm
pull it
trying
up.
to replicate this style.
Okay, let me pull it up. Animals, huh?
Yes. Okay, actually, in the meantime, when you're doing that, I'm going to look at the key that it's in.
All right, so that's definitely that arpeggiated type of. I get that now.
But
and
then
I also hear how he's doing the mess. What is that called? The cutoff, right? Yeah.
Yeah, cut off. And then later on, this sound comes like.
All right, let's see. But I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So like that is an C sharp major. That's like the so. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, let's try that.
Okay.
Okay, I have a little bit of a pluck sound. So what I'm gonna do now is no. I'm so used to making deep house kind of stuff, so it's hard for me to.
To break out of it.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
What happens in deep house? Like what do you mean? Like
It's just like the sounds are not as. Usually the sounds are not as heavy and bright and big.
gotcha.
So finding that sound is actually kind of hard, but we can do it. That's not bad. Let's try a progression. Not a ballad. Let's do dance.
I'll tell you something about progressions.
Yeah.
So you see how like when you're in notes and you basically go up and down on the scale, like from like low to high.
Yeah.
What I notice about progressions is like when you try to do that, it doesn't always match up in terms of like
The key.
the sound.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe what you want to do here is use chromatic chords, and maybe that might help.
Because it's even, yeah, that's, is the pluck in F sharp? Yeah.
Yeah, let's check that.
I basically took out all of my melodic elements, and I'm going to just start again. So... and let's just keep it at C major. And then I'll just do a progression, and then I'll leave it at that.
Here we go.
Actually, that one was nice.
Yeah, that's good. That sounds really nice, though.
Yeah. Okay, I'll leave it like that. And I'll call this chords. Or C-R-H-R-D-S. Turn it down a little bit more. Program.
So talk to me about that. Talk to me about you adjusting the volume there. What's up with that?
I'm basically pre-mixing as I go.
Okay, so because what I do now is I just go to track mix, which is might not, and just turn everything to -6 dB. I just start like that.
That's fair. That's one way to do it.
Right.
My thought process of using the volume adjustment as I'm going is not because I want everything to be at -6 dB, but like, you know how I said record everything at -6 dB?
Right.
But what I usually tend to do is I'll record everything out, not internally. You could do it internally too, actually. But then you don't have control of the dynamics of every element of the song.
Gotcha.
So, for example, if
you want certain tracks to be louder than you want the drums to be. Gotcha.
So if I turn up this back to 0, this is what it would sound like. It doesn't sound bad.
Right.
But I don't want it overpowering too much. So that's why I turn it down.
Yeah. I mean, I'm feeling that that melody it's got some feeling to it, right?
And then I'll put the cutoff. Now I'm gonna add a bass line.
Okay.
I feel like I can get. I feel like I need like
some kind of amp on it, right?
Yeah. An amp or distortion. I feel like there was a distortion thing. Yeah.
Sorry, that's me. Sorry, hold on.
No worries. Now I'm just trying to figure out like a flow for the bass.
Right. Yeah.
Isolating just the kick and the bass.
Then you're gonna put the
Yes.
yeah.
Mother ducker. Yeah, it sounds okay, I guess. Like, yeah, I mean, that's a starting off point.
Yeah.
And then, for example, I go back to the chords, go to program edit, use the cutoff filter to bring that down,
Okay.
and then bring it in and out depending on, like, for a build up, for example. So
Okay. Yeah. Show me how you do the build up.
I'll do a quick little, so let's just double the length a few times.
You know, it's really interesting how dynamic it sounds. Like it doesn't sound like a loop. That's what's so interesting about EDM. Like it's the same. It's a repetitive thing, but it doesn't sound like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's weird. Like that whole thing doesn't sound like a continuous like loop. Like it doesn't get boring, you know?
Yeah.
It's really strange how EDM is able to do that.
Especially when you're adding more elements here and there to it. So this is just like basically the beginning of the track.
Right.
So
this is just the beginning.
So this is the beginning, and then what I would do now is arrange it a bit, add another sound.
Okay.
Actually, wait, let me do that before. So I'll go back to 8 bars, and let me add one more sound
Okay.
to this.
And what is this sound going to be? What are you thinking in your head?
It's going to be a melodic sound.
So right now we have one melodic sound.
That's a chord.
We got a chord. We got a bass line.
Yes.
And now you're going to add another melodic sound.
Yeah.
Would that be considered a chord too?
I'm gonna try to make it not a chord.
Okay.
So let's try a pluck, for example.
Okay.
I'm just gonna try to like randomly come up with something.
Yep. Yep.
then I wanted to put like a reverb, but it might be a little bit difficult to find the one I want. There we go, something like this. I feel like this kind of spices up the elements a little bit further.
Yep.
And
that's a vibe, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just quickly do a arrangement, and I'm just gonna do it by hand. 64 bars. Okay, that's good enough, I think. So track mute, go to that one, and we'll start like this. I could also do it, enter it manually too, where you just take stuff away.
Yeah.
In the arranger instead of playing it by hand. But this way works too. But then you have to be like pretty precise with the drops, I guess.
Right, right.
I put so much length to it that I can bring stuff in and out as I please, basically.
Right.
And then I would basically just stop it there. I could keep going and do an outro, but for the sake of this session, I just want to show you where I would put like an effect, for example.
Okay, okay.
So I'll just do a quick audio track. I'm just gonna go to effects, reverse effects.
And these are all effects that you accumulated over time.
This is just a library that I have, accumulated over time. But yes,
Okay.
I didn't make any of these sounds.
Okay.
But sweeps up. Okay, that's cool.
That one sounds good. Yeah, and I get yeah.
That's cool too, for example. Okay.
I love how the Roland just like the SP. What's that? The SP what? What's that one called?
4.4 Mark II.
I like how it just does that animation all the time.
I
It's
know
cool.
you can actually change it to like different animations too.
Yeah,
It might be a little bit distracting, but
No, it's cool. It's cool. They know what they're doing with that. Oh, you know what? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course.
Since you're running sounds through the Roland, can you do effects on the Roland?
Yep. Like,
Oh, really?
what do you mean? Like
Like, can you play whatever live on the MPC and then kind of just do effects on the Roland? Is that
if I have the MPC running through the SP404, I can use the effects here, but it will affect everything that I play.
okay? It doesn't just affect a certain track. Gotcha.
No,
Gotcha.
it won't. Unless you have a different type of MPC where I think there's different outputs, then you can send certain
Right.
things into it.
Right.
But in this scenario, no. But I'm actually running the SP404 Mark II into the MPC ONE Plus because I wanted to just use the microphone. And
Right.
I found, yeah.
So you know what's interesting? Side note. So the Tascam mixer, I think it's called like the Tascam something 12.
Yeah.
So you can connect that one through USB on your MPC, and then send all of your tracks out to the different tracks on the mixer.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's pretty cool.
For a mixer, yeah. A lot of people in DAWless setups, they use mixers because they can fine tune
Right.
everything.
Right.
I never really do, but I try to level everything out internally with the devices that I use and then adjust the volume of the overall machine to coincide and make sense with other machines, basically.
Gotcha.
So let's add I can just drag this. And then, I don't know where. It's not going to make sense. Okay, not there. Yeah. It's like more around here somewhere. But let's go back and push this. Oops. There we go. Okay, it's probably around here somewhere, I'm guessing. Not here. Okay, before that
Okay,
line. So like I would do like right here.
Okay, let's hear that. I'm excited about this.
Turn this down because it's gonna be loud.
Yeah, that's it.
But
Yeah.
also, that's just one thing. And then let's add another audio track. And then go to, here, browse samples. Instead of sweep up, we're going to do sweep down. Do it. Perfect. Enter this into the mix. I feel like there's probably a faster way, but
It's okay. This is DAWless.
this is DAWless, me using my fingers to just drag it all the way across. Whatever works, right? So that should be good right there. There we go. And then, again, you can go back to your pluck, for example, program in it, mess with the cutoff filter. can add those as automation into
as automation.
Yeah.
Can we do a play start? Let's hear a play start. Let me
From
hear
the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it.
That's fun. That's just fun. That's just fun.
I should probably render this. But anyways, I'll do that sometime.
That's sneaky.
Fist bump. Bump.
That's good, dude.
Thank you. Oh, it recorded the automation actually. I forgot.
Nice.
I have the event thing turned on, that's why. That's so convenient actually. I like this because of that event. But if you leave it on, then I'll turn it off. I think that's basically it. I didn't do anything else after that.
Yeah, that's it. Ah, dude, that was awesome. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'll save this one actually. Right.
And I hope this inspires you to make some more EDM, dude.
It does actually, yeah. Honestly,
It does.
Because like, you know how I rap sometimes, and I'm like, it would be cool to like a lot of Turkish rappers. They'll mix EDM type of beats with their raps, and I'm like, I'm even if I don't rap necessarily, but I can just like use my voice like in that other track that I showed.
Yeah.
Like I can do stuff like that might that's very inspiring to me actually, expanding beyond just like ambient types of genres.
Right. But so speaking of, how's your album coming along?
I'm basically done. The only thing is I'm not sure if I'm going to use the Roland P6, which is this device.
Yeah.
Instead I might just use the Roland SP404 with the circuit rhythm, and that's it, because I'll see if I'm not sure if I want to add another I was gonna play like some melodic stuff on top, but I'm just like, I don't know, we'll see how it goes.
What made you decide to do an ambient album?
I've done some before under my other name, Truly Yours.
Oh, okay.
And I felt like I don't know. I just like I'm like in the mood sometimes to do something like that, but it's gonna still be very like techno,
Gotcha.
but ambient techno, I guess.
Gotcha.
So,
So I got another question for you.
yes.
When you're in your car driving,
Yes.
do you mostly play your music?
I do play a lot of my own music.
I
but
do too. Like it's
It's fun because it's not only a chance to hear what it sounds like in a different system, and it feels nice to hear what you finished, I think.
Right. Yeah, it does. It does. All right, cool. So I'll see you on the next lesson.
Cool.
Thanks,
You don't have any more questions for
No, I don't have any. No.
Okay, cool, man. I'll see you next time.
I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, man.
Peace out, man. Thank you.
Later.
Later.